Sometimes you never know the impact of a move until you actually start playing the games. And the move of Alex Van Pelt to Ken Dorsey, which we'll get a little more insight on today, as Dorsey being introduced from the Browns, which is still weird, Ryan, that they haven't officially hired Ken Dorsey. I mean, they have. He's there. He's talking to the media at 11 today. But as we wrapped up the show on Friday, Albert Breer gave us a little bit of insight on the departure of Alex Van Pelt from the Cleveland Browns. Now, the move from AVP to Ken Dorsey, I could sit here and tell you what I think. We had Jake Burns on Friday. Learned a lot, as always, from Jake on his insight and what he thinks, but we won't actually know until we get to the games. That being said, Albert Breer said something that on one side, I've been trying to tell you about. The other side, maybe a little concerned about that move on from Alex Van Pelt. So we'll hear that coming up. Cavs back in action tonight, yeah! Evan Mobley needed knee surgery to find an outside game. Well, what do we know? We had that last night. We'll get to our Typico boost tonight. Folks, I'm going to tell you about the bracket right now because we need your entries for the best pro wrestler of all time. Tweet it at the show, at Matt Fontana 83, because we have to do the brackets today. We got time up. We got the morning update. We got it all for you here on a beautiful Monday, right here on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. He is Ryan Tyler, Twitter famous Ryan Tyler. Clip little popped off there for you, did a little bit.
Definitely my most impressionized tweet for sure. We're sitting at, I think, around 970,000, so I'm trying to get to that 1 mil mark.
All right, so follow Ryan at Ryan Tyler 33. We will play that. We'll get you another view here on the show, Ryan, because we're going to play the clip coming up. We get a lot to Pro Bowl games. Yawn. People got pissed off at my Baker Mayfield tweet. We'll get to that coming up. We got to hear from Breer. We got a lot of Cavs this morning, including our Typico boost, which we will reveal coming up for the Cavs and the Kings tonight. Another nice win for the Wine and Gold. A little outside game for Evan Mobley, and a historic game for the Cavs franchise. They had never done something that they did. Was it Saturday night? The days run together for me. Saturday night for them on a win. So we'll get to that coming up as well. But our bracket, dry your eyes. We will not have a show tomorrow. We have some other things we got to take care of tomorrow. So no show. So we're going to do our bracket today. The best pro wrestler of all time. I will lean on the more wrestling crowd out there. I would call on Ben Axelrod from Awful Announcing, Emmett Golden, former teammate of mine. They're all big into wrestling. I haven't watched wrestling in a long time.
I've never watched it.
A long time. My mom did the smart thing. She had 5 boys. The last thing that she needed was us watching pro wrestling. Now, I did when I wasn't supposed to. And come on, who hasn't hit a Stone Cold Stunner on one of their brothers? I mean, come on, it's what you do. But I haven't watched, dude. I can't even, like, decades. So, and this is historic, right? So, like, do you think Ric Flair's Michigan fandom will hurt him in this bracket for us? He's a giant Michigan honk. Do you think that hurts him in this? He's going to be in. I'm not going to hold him out.
Are we doing like WWE wrestlers?
No, this is so Andre the Giant will be in this. You want to put Hacksaw Jim Duggan in this? You can do it. So it's like of all time, WWE, WCW.
People. Well, can we include people that have been in the MMA?
What do you mean?
Like, because there's wrestlers that have then.
Oh, you're talking about like Don Fry and stuff like that?
Like Khabib Nurmagomedov and stuff?
Well, he's not a No.
But he wrestles. No, that's what I'm asking
No,
you.
no,
okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Big time wrestling.
Okay.
I wrestled.
I need to get it clear. Okay.
I'm not in the bracket. No, I'm not putting Kyle Snyder in this. David Taylor is not in this, okay? I'm talking about pro wrestling.
Okay.
It's got to be The Rock, Flair, Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan. Those might be your number 1 seeds right there. Stone Cold.
Rey Mysterio.
I love Rey Mysterio. You know, CM Punk is very big right now. So we're going to leave it open. And we need the tweets. So at Matt Fontana 83, at Matt Fontana Show, best wrestler of all time. Like Sean. Shout out to Sean. He already just tweeted like a giant list. Ricky the Dragon, Steamboat. Some of these are getting into it a little bit there, though, man. Some of those are a little beyond it. Cody says Sting. So all that kind of stuff. So we'll get into our bracket a little bit later in the show. And, of course, a lot of Cavs to get to as well. But we start with the Browns this morning because Albert Breer. So I want to give proper credit to this because Albert Breer is a longtime NFL reporter, MMQB, and he does stuff for NBC Sports Boston. And this is where we credit this video because he joined one of their shows, and I think it was Zoe and Bertrand, I think he was on with them. And this was on Friday. And the reason they're talking about up in Boston is they hired Alex Van Pelt to come up there and be the offensive coordinator for the New England Patriots. So there's a lot of discussion about why AVP was out of a job and why he was even available for the Cleveland Browns. So here's Albert Breer breaking some things down about AVP, a few comments on the Cleveland Browns. We got to discuss them. So at first here, thank you very much to NBC Sports Boston. And again, Zoe Bertrand, the show he was on, Albert Breer, discussing Alex Van Pelt's departure from the Cleveland Browns.
There's the one key here that people will miss if they don't know it, right? So in Cleveland, the reason he was let go in Cleveland was because ownership and Paul DePodesta, not Kevin Stefanski, ownership and Paul DePodesta were frustrated with the progress Deshaun Watson had made. I don't think that they really, truly, the people who made that decision really, truly knew his value to that staff. And the people, other people on that staff, not so much Kevin, but people below him, were floored when they fired him for two reasons.
So I'll tell you the reason. That was Zolak and Bertrand, the show, NBC Sports Boston, and Albert Breer. We thank them very much for that clip. The reasons he brought up, number one, he mentioned the glue that Alex Van Pelt was to this team. That Kevin Stefanski is kind of a straight-laced guy. It seems like AVP was maybe a comedic, and makes it sound like he's some like jester, court jester. No, it's like he kept things loose. You know what I mean? Like he was the momentum guy. He was kind of just kept things on an even keel and all that. But the other thing he mentioned, the reason they were so shocked is the success the Browns offense had this year without Deshaun Watson. You should be throwing bouquets at these people for the job that they were able to pull. Now, it's clear that a lot of that credit maybe is going towards Kevin Stefanski. But you hear what Breer had to say there, to say that people were shocked at them letting AVP go. Tells me he had a big hand in getting this kind of stuff figured out. Now, all that being said, if Kevin, as said before, he reportedly didn't like the direction that they were going in. And I'm interested to see at 11 o'clock today, when they walk Ken Dorsey up to that dais, will Andrew Berry or Kevin Stefanski, I would imagine Stefanski, he might actually be there, Ryan, to give a little introduction. Sometimes they'll do that, where he stands up there for about 5 minutes and reads a statement or kind of says, introducing Ken Dorsey, and we might get a little piece of the reason for the move. I don't think we have to dig too far. They didn't like where things were going. They made a change. The thing I want to focus on, and I don't want to put this right back on you so you can play this little clip here, but the part where he mentions the worry about Deshaun Watson. The part, can you pull it up again quick?
Yeah.
All right,
There's
pull
the
it up
one
again.
key here that people will miss if they don't know it, right? So in Cleveland, the reason he was let go in Cleveland was because ownership and Paul DePodesta, not Kevin Stefanski, ownership and Paul DePodesta were frustrated with the progress Deshaun Watson had made.
Stop it right there. That right there. I told you. People have tried to tell me that there's nothing wrong with Deshaun Watson. When I made the statement about the hiring of this OC and the hiring of Ken Dorsey, and I said the number one priority was fixing Deshaun Watson, I had people tweet at me and go on the Instagram page, which is always just lovely for the comments, and people tell me I don't know football and Deshaun Watson's not broken. You're wrong. Because they feel the same way. And it doesn't have to be, and I'm turning this negative, and I'm trying not to, but I'm a little angry about it. Whatever. The anger does not have to be, oh yeah, he's the anger. You got to realize that so you can fix it. The first step of fixing a problem is admitting you have a problem. And I'm not saying that Deshaun Watson can't get better. I expect him to get better. I expect him to overcome all these injuries. I expect the offense to take some change and possibly look better than it has. I want all of those things right. But you first have to admit what you saw with Deshaun Watson was not good enough. For one reason or another, you want to jump on the injuries. Very clearly, according to Albert, the reporting, the Browns weren't happy with it. Now, you want to raise concern that they're pulling a ripcord here and they're getting worried and they're finding a change for change's sake, or that's a reason for moving on from somebody. I guess there is some inherent worry that you would say the Browns feel like they're not in a good place and they just pulled the ripcord on this. Who knows? right? This could be the move to unlock everything. But they agree, as I do, it's all about Watson. We know that. So if people want to sit there and try to make the case about he's okay or he just needs to come back and play, that's not very clearly where the Browns are at. And can I tell you something, Ryan? I am glad to hear that. I am very glad to hear that because they realize how important this time right now, this upcoming season is going to be. It's all on the table. It is everything right now. So if you want to go into a corner and try to guard yourself, say, no, Watson's fine. He's just fine. It was just the injuries or it was just a slow start and a small sample size. You want to go paint yourself into a corner and try to shy away from that, you're going to regret that. That is going to come back to bite you in the ass. You paid a lot of money and a lot of draft picks for a very talented quarterback. You got to get the most out of him now. So you want to jump on the negative that the Browns made this move and now they're meddling and the dysfunction. I actually won't join you on that. I am refreshed to hear that they view this the same that I do. We got to fix Deshaun Watson. And again, that inherently makes it sound negative. It sounds like I'm hating on Deshaun Watson. I'm not. Let's just call it for what it is. He didn't play well when he was in there. He had one good half of football, as we all know. I expect better. I want better. What's wrong with that? Nothing. For my team to go where I need them to go, he's got to play at a better level than he did this past season. So, Ryan, I did want to play that this morning because some people want to use it as a negative. I love this. I think this is great. And it's not because they fired Alex Van Pelt. I really feel bad. I'm glad he got a new gig. I'm glad he's up there. It sounds like he's been calling plays up there. Good for AVP. He's a good dude. He really was. Or is. You know, every time I had interactions with him and the Browns have a great staff. They have a great locker room, too. They got a lot of good people in that building. They really do. And AVP is one of them. I'm sad to see him go. I don't want to see anybody lose their job. But he found a new spot up there. That's great. But the Browns, even just beyond what they did, I didn't really care like what they did. They felt like they needed to make this move with AVP fine. But Ryan, the fact that I'm grabbing onto, and I'd love to hear from the Browns through Albert here and his reporting, which I trust very much, it's not good enough with Deshaun Watson. I love hearing that.
How much are you reading into calling him the glue guy? I feel like that's a pretty overused cliche.
I mean, the thing is, all right, let's dive into that for a second. Because Albert, as an Ohio State fan and graduate, actually, dude, do you know I have a direct line to Albert Breer through somebody else?
Let's get him on.
I kind of want to text my guy.
That'd be awesome.
So I got a guy who I worked with a long time ago, friend of mine, and he is close friends with Albert Breer. Damn. Maybe in break. We'll work on that. We'll see how it goes. Anyway. The glue thing, yeah, I mean, that can be a cliche thing. That could be something that what I was going to say is I'm assuming that Albert talked to some other coaches. He's got contacts in the Browns. He's got contacts around the league. He might have even talked to AVP, but he talked to other guys. And then usually what that is, you talk to a group, and what is the common thing that you hear from 5 different people, right? When you sit down and ask, hey, man, what'd you think about AVP, or what did he do? And it sounds like the common thread was he kept things loose. And AVP was kind of a funny guy, you know what I mean? Like, and in a workplace scenario, it's tough to put this aside of what they do in Berea is no different than what you're doing today for your work. You have coworkers. Sometimes you're in the office. Sometimes you're at home. You're on the road traveling. Whatever your job might be, you have coworkers. You sit in meetings potentially. You deal with people, and everybody has a different job or a different role. And sometimes on your team or within your group, there's somebody that keeps morale high. And there's somebody that'll crack a joke when they needed to or step. Maybe that's what it sounds like to me. Now, you would say, what does that matter? Go win games, right? It doesn't matter. You paid a lot of money. Go figure it out. I'm kind of, I don't want to overblow that, but it's also, find somebody, but it was a shake to the system, right? What they did on the offensive side this year was some of the biggest moves they had outside of Drew Petzing leaving last year. They had a shakeup. So I just, I wonder what the mental side of the Browns coaching staff is after all this. Because in a way, with that move of AVP, that was a signal to everybody else, dude, it's crunch time now. Like, it's never a sign on the door of, like, do your job or pack up and leave, something like that. But it was a little signal of, status quo is not good enough anymore. Like, if we're not getting things done, there are going to be jobs online here. And that's, again, for any of us, right? But I think with the AVP move on the glue side of it, like, I'm not going to completely discredit that. I think there's a little importance to that of keeping these guys together, keeping this group together. But I'd probably lean on your way, Ryan. I don't know if it's the NLB. Is he good X's and O's guy? Because you talk about fit. And there are people that will die on the hill that they say the NFL is still a people business. It's still a, what are you getting out of people? Who are they? How do they fit? And that's part of the reason why we've loved the Browns so much. They have brought people in that fit, both on the player side of it and the coach side of it. And they're all driven towards the same thing. That's not so easy to recreate. We'd all love that. You'd love to wave a magic wand and say there's no dysfunction. You got to overcome issues, but it sounds like, Brian, they have a good fit of people there. Well, they made a massive change that kind of shook some things up there. I'd imagine there's going to be some fallout. There's going to be. You make a move like that, there's going to be fallout. Now, the thing is, we won't figure any of this out until we start playing football games. Until you start taking the field and seeing what this offense looks like, we're not going to have any idea what it looks like. But I think it is so important that through Albert's reporting, the Browns feel like I do. We got to get more out of Deshaun Watson. They could put their head in the sand on this, and that would get me really concerned. If the status quo was, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. That's all right. No big deal here. I'd be worried. Because they got to feel the urgency that I feel, that you feel, that everybody else feels. Because as great as this past season was for doing a lot of things you didn't expect to do with Joe Flacco and overcoming all the injuries, that's fine. When we peel all of that away, Ryan, it is crunch time. And I do feel like the pressure is even now starting to ramp up a little bit. And understanding about the future of this team and where they plan to go. Zach Jackson of The Athletic, he talked to Andrew Berry down in Mobile, right? And Zach, they were talking about the restructure of Deshaun Watson. Don't forget that hangs over all of this. About what are you going to do with Deshaun Watson? And how this is just me, okay? And it's great reporting by Zach. Good job on him. Because that's key. Where, again, he talked to Andrew Berry, and Berry said, it's not required that we restructure the deal. Because a lot of us, you just sign the pen and you're back under the salary cap and it's no big deal. The question is, doing that, you prolong the impact of Deshaun Watson here. Is this maybe a year that they say, well, wait a minute. We're not really sure if we want to prolong this. We're not really sure if this is everything that we need. And I know the Browns are steadfast on this, and Barry said it a couple of weeks ago. They signed Deshaun Watson to be here for a long time. And the deal is set up that way, and they probably still believe that. But let's watch how that plays out. Let's watch how that goes on that restructure. Because again, the restructure, you eventually have to pay that money. And if you believe that Deshaun Watson is going to be here for 10 years, just keep pushing that down. That's all right. We'll keep paying that later, and we'll eventually figure that out down the road. You start to believe he only will be here for that 5-year deal. Well, maybe it's time we start chipping away at that a little bit now and start paying a little bit of that now. And the ramifications that can be had there of who you can sign, who you can't sign, who's coming back, that's all on Andrew Berry. But it still remains. Now is the time. The pressure is on right now for the Cleveland Browns. So hearing Albert say that, again, I don't like hearing that Alex Van Pelt lost his job. I don't like that. I'm glad he's somewhere else now. And he kept a job. But to hear that it's enough of a conversation that they needed to make a coordinator move in relation to Deshaun Watson, I like hearing that. Again, I don't like AVP losing his job, but I like hearing there's a little urgency down there in Berea with the Cleveland Browns. Where it goes, again, we got 6 months until we play a game, 7 months until we play a game. Gonna have to find out. We'll get a little sprinkling today from Ken Dorsey. He's gonna come up at 11 o'clock. Ryan, what do you want to hear from Ken today?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you that, Matt.
Yeah.
Quite a few things, really. I'd like to know who was, sitting in that interview, who kind of orchestrated it. I would like to know. I don't think we're gonna know that.
There's two schools of thought here. questions I really want answered and questions that we can actually get something out of.
That's fair.
Ultimately, yeah, Ken, and I know this question will be asked today, what do you see in Deshaun Watson? What do you see in Deshaun Watson that needs to get fixed? Knowing that there's a base level of good play, there's got to be something better. There's got to be something that you look at Watson, you prepared for this interview with tape, you've been around him a little bit. Well, I'm assuming they've talked a little bit, whatever, fine. What is it that you got to take Deshaun Watson to the next level? That's something I want. They'll ask about the play calling. And are you ready for the answer? I will tell you that right now. That's something we're going to work through. Write that down. That I think the answer to that question will be that's something we're going to work through if Kevin speaks. And I'm going to believe that Kevin will. I think it's interesting, or I think it'd be a little weird for them just to throw your new coordinator out there without an introduction from the head coach. So I believe Kevin Stefanski will get up there and have a quick little couple-minute thing and then make a comment about the play calling. And it'll just be, we're going to work through that and get that figured out, and that's fine. Again, a question I want answered but probably won't. I mean, there's some things we can get into the minutia about, too, like, what are your view on motions? How do you, and I think there will be a litany of questions about individual players and what do you think about David Njoku? He's great. What do you think about Amari Cooper? He's great. Is there something really that you're jumping onto here at Dorsey? My thing is Watson, man. I want to hear him what he has to say about Deshaun Watson. There's got to be something.
That obviously Deshaun Watson is probably going to be the main topic of conversation, but I would like to know his thoughts on, of course, we're going to hear the word scapegoat, I'm sure, their thoughts on the Browns, because Mary Kay came out and said that the Browns thought he was a scapegoat, kind of how his departure went in Buffalo, and if he felt that he kind of was that scapegoat and it was kind of unfair for him.
Who else just got hired and they said they viewed him as a scapegoat? The same. Oh, Luke Getsy. That's right, because that Cliff Kingsbury stuff's getting interesting in it. He's going to Washington now. Couldn't get a deal done over there. But Luke Getsy, they said the same thing when they hired him at the Raiders. Oh, he's a scapegoat there in Chicago. Really wasn't all his fault. Monday, I'm pretty positive here. I would take that. Would you not accept that to believe that he was the scapegoat? You and I don't know. We weren't in that building. We don't know the play calling. They know more. But, I guess the ultimate question is this. Ryan, does that hold water for you? If you said, no, this guy's good, he was just a scapegoat, does that do anything for you?
I mean, no, not really.
Okay, I'm wondering, because, is that a viable, I don't know why, I just picture on a resume. And he walks in and he goes, I worked with Cam Newton, and I was not a national championship in Miami because Ohio State won that. Former college quarterback, or did he win one? I don't know, whatever. I've coached this many years. Oh, yeah, by the way, scapegoat. I was a scapegoat. Here's my resume. Thank you very much. Scapegoat. That's not really a line you put on a resume, but it's something that, if that's truly what it was, it'd be different if it was no, this guy really sucks at his job, and he doesn't have a job because he's not good at it. You soften it up with a little bit of the scapegoat there. So we'll see. Again, he's coming up at 11 o'clock. I'm sure, again, we'll have lots to react to on Wednesday. No show for us tomorrow, but still, I'm interested to see what he has to say about Deshaun Watson.
What are the odds you think he pulls Alex Van Pelt and says, this is what's wrong with our quarterback?
I would love
I know you would
to
love
be
it.
honest with you, if he came straight out and was like, dude, I see something when it comes to Deshaun Watson. And what I'm talking about with AVP was in his introductory press conference, he sat down and he goes, yeah, Baker's footwork. We're going to get this fixed. And we had Stump Mitchell on, big interview tonight on Big Play Cleveland show, by the way.
I don't think the people know yet.
I'm sure they don't. 3 letters. That's all I'm going to give you. Stop. 3 letters. 3 letters tonight on the Big Play Cleveland show. Big get for them. Tune in tonight. Big play. But anyway, I'm completely derailed now because I was thinking about who's coming on the show tonight. The hell was I talking about?
Alex Van Pelt's introductory press conference.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's right. Oh, what I was going to say was Stump Mitchell was on the Big Play Cleveland show, and he made mention as the running backs coach of some of the things that Deshaun Watson needed to get shored up. So I'd love to hear that from Ken coming up at 11 o'clock. We'll see. Ryan blew up this weekend. Ryan Tyler, 33. This was part of the Pro Bowl games. What'd you think of the weekend?
I didn't watch a single thing. Pro Bowl related.
It was, and it was weird because they played stuff on Thursday and Friday. They made it the whole weekend, and the flag
all
football
I saw
thing
was Dan
yesterday.
Orlovsky score the most in the accuracy challenge.
Oh, okay. Oh, did he really?
He beat all the quarterbacks.
I did not even know that.
In a suit and tie.
All right, good for him.
Your guy.
Well, my guy Baker won offensive MVP for that game. Dude, I got people pissed off at me about Baker Mayfield. We'll talk about that later show, but it's fine. But nonetheless, part of the games, you got a lot of different players and a lot of different situations. Ryan, tell everybody where this clip came from. It's David Njoku defending the town of Cleveland, which he loves so very much. This blew up for you on social media. Lay it out for us.
Yeah, so I was just chilling watching YouTube, and and the NFL posted it was like the AFC versus NFC, like a Madden tournament. It was like,
that's right. Yeah.
It was David Njoku and Tyreek Hill representing the AFC, and then for the NFC it was Micah Parsons and Puka Nacua, and Puka and David played the first half of Madden. And Puka was playing really well, and he was up a couple scores on David. And then before they went to the second half, they kind of did an intermission to talk about the first half. And Micah Parsons threw a pretty cheap shot at David Njoku, and he wasn't having it for 1 second. So I'll go ahead and play the clip here. But good for David Njoku. And yeah, this clip definitely blew up on my Twitter.
Micah, how do you think he did in the first half?
I thought he did amazing. He made great adjustments. He obviously showed why Cleveland's Cleveland and ran.
Whoa.
That's a crazy shot.
Okay.
That's a crazy shot.
Don't give us that political.
David, you have an opportunity for a rebuttal here. Obviously, that first
all,
half didn't go the way you wanted.
It's cool. You know,
Okay.
you understand one thing, and excuse my voice, it's gone.
Sounds
When the monsters come with big bosses, one thing you got to understand is he said Cleveland's Cleveland, but we're both here. I mean, we're both playing this
interesting.
Madden game.
I think that's a shot at
So
you.
you got to make it make sense.
Any person who's reenacting Meek Mill lyrics is I can't take him serious.
But am I lying though?
Nah, you trying to be lyrical, but
I'm
those not even
being
get lyrical.
lyrical. I'm saying we're both fitting.
Lyrically, I'm supposed to represent.
He has a good point, bro. We all here.
So what are you saying? Cleveland. Dallas.
Well, okay, fair enough. Well, let's take it back to this game.
Yeah, but basically, I mean, that blew up
You
on my
could
Twitter.
tell. I mean,
yeah.
you could tell it was getting a little David took
he
that
was
as a
mad.
shot. And listen,
He was mad.
David Njoku is a fan favorite here for a lot of reasons. He loves playing here. That's a shot at David Njoku too, right? That's anything. You can get tribal with this, right? And that's part of, I guess, being a fan. We're part of a tribe of all being Browns fans. We're all part of this group together here. That's a shot at David Njoku. And again, I don't know where Micah Parsons gets off saying that kind of stuff.
He's a
Dude,
clown.
and he's on there talking about this, and he loves going viral. He loves being able to get on the social media thing. Here's the thing, Micah Parsons is a good player. Bro, it's the same thing. Where are the Dallas Cowboys at?
People, oh my
Where are they? With everything the Browns, and I tell you this, I'm not even getting angry about it. Because that narrative is so old and tired, and it's not even a question anymore. And people that just try to crap on Cleveland, I know that they are not well informed. I would call them stupid. I'll call them that. That's stupid. Because they've obviously never been here. Oh, the river caught on fire, all that other kind of stuff. Whatever. He wants to talk about the Cleveland Browns, because that's maybe more of what his shot was at the Cleveland Browns. Bro, everything that this team overcame, we were overachieving this year. You guys underachieved. You got your quarterback all paid up. You got your head coach that chokes in big games. Why don't you talk about that? I would much rather be in the situation that the Cleveland Browns are in than the Dallas Cowboys. You guys underachieved this year.
You see Micah Parsons responded?
To what? To your tweet?
Well, so it was my tweet, but
it got aggregated.
but Dov,
Welcome to this world.
But Dov Kleiman took my he credited me, so whatever. But he responded to Dov's tweet that Dov responded from me. And I'll try and find it, but it was basically just it was a joke.
I'm sure.
Blah, blah,
Okay,
blah, I've been rooting
right.
I was rooting for Cleveland. Y'all tripping. He's like, y'all looking for viral moments. I'm like, no, bro. You said it.
You created
Yeah.
the viral moment.
But yeah,
man, come on now.
Yeah, Micah responded to my video. It was pretty funny.
Oh, dude, and that's the thing. In today's day and age, where a lot of players have podcasts and there's videos and there's so much, I understand. But it's still, he obviously felt the need to take that shot. Yeah. And I got to tell you, maybe it's a growth of me. Maybe it's a sign of a little bit of maturity. That stuff I don't really care about anymore. Yeah. I don't. Now, I appreciate David Njoku stepping up for the way that he did and for saying, I ain't going to let that slide, man. I ain't going to let that slide. If I really wanted to get into it, this is a joyous kind of fun thing. Why you got to sit there and start talking crap, man? Come on. You're sitting there playing Madden. What? Are you going to take the Pro Bowl game serious now all of a sudden? You're not going to let David Njoku beat you in a Madden game?
Bro, you got bounced in the first round.
I don't even want
at home.
That's it's easy because it's the low-hanging fruit. Just here's a quick laugh. Here, I'll just joke on Cleveland. Stop, man. And the thing is, the Browns, we all have to fully admit, they were the joke of the NFL for a good long time. And I understand that. But there is in no world or way you can say the same thing right now.
Yeah.
And if people want to keep jumping on stuff that happened 15 years, I guess it was a little closer than you thought, right? 1 in 31 was just, 6 years ago? 7 years ago? Okay, sure. Wasn't that long. But talk about where we're at now. Who would you rather be moving forward? The Dallas Cowboys or the Cleveland Browns? You would say the Cleveland Browns. Of course you would.
For sure.
Of course you would. And there's always a mystique about playing for the Cowboys. The Browns are very clearly in a better position than the Dallas Cowboys. So just come on.
Real quick, I want to play a video again because two things you'll notice is obviously David Njoku's lower half blurred out for reasons I think we can just assume. But I want to play like the when Tyreek Hill defends.
He kind of was on David's side.
He was, but the reason it was funny to me, and I'm going to play it again. Tell me Tyreek Hill doesn't sound exactly like Kevin Hart. Okay.
Okay. All right.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm listening.
So I'm gonna have to fast forward this.
Micah, how do you think he did in the first
Tell me
half?
he doesn't sound exactly like Kevin Hart.
But those
I'm
not even
being
get lyrical.
I'm saying we're both sitting.
Lyrically, I'm supposed to represent.
He has a good point, bro. We all here.
He does, dude. Does he sound just like?
Okay, fair enough. Well, let's take it back to this game.
One more time.
You trying to be lyrical, but those not even get lyrical.
I'm saying we're both sitting.
Lyrically, I'm supposed to represent.
He has a good point, bro. We all here.
He does. He does sound a lot like Kevin Hart.
Literally sounds. I listened to that again. I'm like, oh my god, that's literally Kevin Hart.
He does sound
if
a
I
lot
close
like
my
Kevin
eyes, I see Kevin Hart.
There it is. Well, both a little shorter stature kind of guys. I mean, I guess that kind of happens. I don't say the best comedy show that I ever went to, but top 3 for me was Kevin Hart. I saw him. He came to Cleveland. This was years ago, dude. Just sides. I was dying. I was laughing so hard.
Do you know who Shane Gillis is?
I love Shane Gillis.
Did you see he's hosting SNL?
Yeah, he's finally coming back.
After they fired him?
Well, they
Yeah,
fired him.
that was crazy.
Like
That
he's
was
got
nuts.
that. Did you watch his stand up?
Yes.
Like,
dogs. The
beautiful dogs or something like that. Yeah, dude. When I get really bored,
He does the best Trump I've ever heard.
it's the George Washington bit that I
Yes.
die at.
He's like, who thought he would cross the
Who
river?
thought across the Delaware? Lucky for you. Shane Gillis is pretty funny. I would pay good money to see him. I can't even tell you the next. We have a lot of concerts. This year's the concert year for us. I can't tell you a comedy show that would get Shane Gillis. I would go see.
Yeah, 100%.
I had tickets to go see Mark Normad with my brothers, but we just couldn't with the kids. I'd go see 2 guys I would love to go see: Mark Normad and Shane Gillis right now. Those guys would be great.
Shane Gillis, and do you know who Stavros is?
I've seen a lot of him blowing up.
Ronnie the
Yeah.
Raven?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen him blowing up.
He
just a little
really
bit.
blew up this year. He's super
Right.
funny.
Yeah. Because the other thing, and Rogan talks about his thing. What does he call his? Do you know what he calls his comedy club down in Dallas? He opened a comedy club in Dallas, and they were talking about like they don't even know who's gonna show up, and the lineup that came out one night was like Ron White, Shane Gillis, like just this lineup that you would pay thousands of dollars to go see, and they just showed up at Joe Rogan's club. Just showed up at his club one night.
Well, speaking of comedy, did you see what happened at the Matt Rife show?
Yeah.
Good old Lisa
Where do
Ann.
you know Lisa Ann from, Ryan? From Fantasy Sports and Betting?
Good old Lisa Ann. Good old Lisa Ann. She got arrested for going on her
Why is she
phone.
in handcuffs?
I don't know. It's kind of crazy.
And I don't know Matt Rife very much. Is he not from Ohio?
Yeah, I think he is.
Doesn't he have a lot of controversy surrounding him
people
too?
like wanted to cancel him for like some of his jokes and stuff, but like
canceling comedians is a weird thing because comedy, well, I'm sure that there are some things that you shouldn't joke about, which I get. Like, it's still stand-up comedy. I don't know Matt Rife. Whatever. I don't even know. And I saw the video of Lisa Ann. Why the hell is she in handcuffs? She's got a cell phone out? Is that how bad it is where...
Well, people are apparently like she had her cell phone out. You can't have that. And then somebody, I guess, said like they were trying to say she had somebody's bag that wasn't hers, but then if they found out it was hers, so I have no idea. Like they're probably gonna get sued.
Like going into these because Chappelle does this a lot, where you got to put your phone in the bag, and it's probably because they don't want to get canceled. Because what they don't want is somebody having a video of a joke. I don't think about joke stealing anymore. Maybe I'm wrong on this. I don't know. The other thing is all these comedians, when they do shows, all they're doing is ramping up for their special.
Right.
So they come to Cleveland and they try this joke. That's why it was cool when we saw Kevin Hart come here, because when we watched his comedy special, we saw some jokes that we knew hit here in Cleveland, and they pieced it together. That's how stand-up comedy works. So I'm sure they don't want videoed things to ruin their special, but it's probably because they don't want to get canceled anymore. You know, if I go to a comedy show and I say this comedian said this joke that was horribly, taken. That's just my words on Twitter. Now, a video gets guys and gets women canceled for being comedians and things like it's a weird time that we live in.
Very weird.
And especially in a world that, I got kids. I can't go into a show and have my phone not on me.
Yeah.
And I guess the lock bag of it's in the bag, but you can't, so you could see it. And if somebody calls you, it's fine. But then you got to get it unlocked to get it. I don't know. It's weird. It's kind of weird to me. But yeah, I saw that. I guess you don't pull your phone out at a comedy show now. I don't know what else to tell you.
Free Lisa Ann.
I will not be joining you on that. Again, a former colleague of mine worked with her at Sirius because that's where she's doing a lot of her stuff now. She's on the fantasy side of things, she's on the betting side of things. Just be careful when you Google. Just put. I don't care.
Is she on the Mount Rushmore?
Everybody. Don't ask me that question.
Is she on your Mount Rushmore?
Of wrestlers? I don't know. Does she ever wrestle, Ryan? I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, she wrestles.
Okay. Coming up on the show.
Lisa Ann live.
We are not doing that bracket. Stop that. We're not doing that bracket. It's a family. You just lit up. Stop that.
I can put her in as a wrestler.
No, stop. No. We need our bracket filled out. We'll do that later. It's the best professional wrestler of all time. We're not doing that one. Stop that.
Because you know she'd win.
I don't even want to think about it. I don't really care. Don't really care. Everybody's got their favorites. I like The Rock. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, I'd pay to just know who popped in your mind when you said that.
No. We're moving on. It's a family show. Family show. All right, when we come back, we got to get into the Cavs. Can we do it? You got it?
You want to do it now?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do a little typical boost. Yes! Yes!
6:30, Matt.
Woo! We were just missed it on Max Struess the other night. We're back, folks. Typico! Use that code Fontana100 when you sign up. Deposit and bet $25 on whatever you want. Get $100 in bonus bets with code Fontana100. As we always do, 3 legs with us on Typico tonight. We got to ride the hot hand of Evan Mobley. We'll take the Cavs to go and win tonight. Another big game for Darius Garland. Just 2 threes. That's it.
Just 2.
That's it. Doing it right now. Typico. I already had it queued up, but I want to get the boost here. What is it boosted up to?
Plus 630. I really feel like that's hitting.
It was 5. It was only 5. You do this on your own. Basketball. Boom. Done. Cavs tonight. 4 points. We're just doing money line tonight. We're just going to do it with money line tonight. All right, we'll get that posted up at Typico. Place your bets. Use that code Fontana100 when you sign up. We had a big shift in the NBA. Does it open things up for the wine and gold? The Cavaliers. Joel Embiid going down. Got more Cavs. Got more Browns. Bracket. Best pro wrestler. We need them this morning. Okay, here we go. Rowdy Roddy Piper. Ric Flair. Triple H. Stone Cold. Those are a lot of the... But we need 16 on this. Macho Man's got to make it. Got to make it here. Macho Man has got to make it. He's in.
But I get a submission, right?
Yes, of course. No.
What? You can't
She's not a professional wrestler.
You can't just change the rules.
In what match has she ever wrestled in?
Oh.
Dude, stop it.
Quite a few.
Not. No. She's not. No. We don't need that. We don't need that in this bracket.
All right.
Stop it, Pat. I'm getting Lisa Ann in the bracket.
Yes.
No,
the people want it.
No. I'll shut this damn bracket down. You got 311 winning, which is a bunch of bull crap last week. And if you're going to try to put an adult actress in this poll, I'll just shut it down. We'll just stop doing the bracket.
Did you see the T-shirt Cody made?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I can't wait to wear it.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. I should have worn my 311 shirt today. I should have worn it in support for apparently the most overrated band in history. Man. She's not, I'm telling you right now, she's not going in the bracket. She's not going in. You can put anybody else that were professional wrestlers in there. She's not.
Define professional wrestler.
I'm going to make the other. China is not going in this either, okay? Because she wrestled and then she got into the adult entertainment industry. No.
I don't even know who that is.
China? No. Don't. Stop it. No. We are blurring lines here that don't need to be blurred, okay? Best professional wrestler of all time. Tweet it at us. We'll get the bracket coming up. We got Cavs coming up as well. Fontana Show right here on Big Play. Things just start to fall for the Cleveland Cavaliers, man. They get through this streak, playing well. Big injury to Joel Embiid. Could the Cavs make some noise? Get up to that 2 or 3 seed. We'll talk about it right here. Welcome back, Matt Fontana Show right here on Big Play. Drop us a follow on Twitter at Matt Fontana Show. Streaming on Twitch, our new venture there. Also up on Instagram at Matt Fontana Show.
2 away from 500 on Twitter.
Wow. That was pretty good for us last week there on the Twitter side of things.
Yeah.
Appreciate everybody following and coming along. We're looking for your best wrestler of all time. Stop with the Lisa Ann. We're not going to, it's not happening.
But hear me out.
No.
All right.
No. Just no. We're not doing that. No. You want to do an unsanctioned bracket for what you really want to do. You can do whatever you want over there.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
You can do that on the other side.
Okay. Maybe I'll do that.
Maybe you do that. You're viral now on your Twitter at RyanTyler33. You are the toast of the town right now.
I gotta really think though who would be my 1 seed.
You can do that. I'm not entering that conversation.
All right.
You go ahead and do that. I'll do wrestlers. Ryan will do the other one. You can vote on whatever side you like. That's just fine. She's not a number 1 seed. So we talk about the Cavs, and we look at where the Cavs are setting all things up now. She's just not. But Joel Embiid got her.
He did.
Get her. He's got to have surgery on that meniscus. So with the Cavs, now listen, I think I don't like to see injuries happen. You know, they suck. And Joel Embiid was on his way to win the MVP. Things certainly opened up there. But I see how this goes. And I know the Cavs had to fight through their own injuries. And man, are they playing well. Evan Mobley with an outside shot. Dude, that was one game. I know, but still. Tell me, like, all right, before we talk about where the Cavs are going to go, do you think this whole conversation about him, like, on his future, the Cavs' future, do you think he hears that? Do you think that there's something? Because, like, it's just one game. And I'm not trying to sit here and freak out, but, like, you watch how Evan Mobley played on Saturday night, and you go, oh, my God, right? And you still had to deal with Wemby and you know, whatever you take. But the fact of, no, that wasn't the Spurs game, right? No, what game did they just play?
They just played the Spurs on Saturday.
Is that what I'm talking about? Yeah,
That
that's the game I'm talking about, right? It's exactly the game I'm talking about. And you look at that game and you say that, like, if Evan Mobley could do that, not even 3 or 3 from beyond the arc, but the confidence that he shot those with, and I can't remember who I saw this from. It might have been Justin Rowan. Shout out to Justin. But the arc on Evan Mobley's shot seems to be better. The release point seems to be better. But I, like, of all this conjecture and all these conversations that have about, is he the future guy? Can they build around him? Is it now more Evan Mobley? Is it more Jared Allen? Bro, to come out and have the game that he had, that's it. And if it's a little bit of, maybe he's hearing some of these things, I'll show you guys. You want this out of me? I'll give it to you.
Him and Jared Allen look pretty good together.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you watch, and I know, again, the Spurs are one of the worst teams in basketball, but, like, you watch and you go, okay, that's dominant. The record was this. The Cavs set a franchise record by having 3 different players score 20 or more points and also all shoot better than 60% from the field. That was Allen, that was Mobley, and it was Mitchell. Actually, it might even been 25 points because they all scored 25 or more. And again, shot 60% from the floor. That had never happened in Cavs history before. That is pure dominance on a game where you didn't really need Darius Garland to do much, and you could sit him out there a little bit. I think we need him to do some things tonight, though. A couple of threes there from Darius. I think we'll be doing all right. But still, like, that's a game where you go, oh, okay, you want to rehab this conversation about Evan Mobley? He's got to do it for a longer stretch. And I know he's coming off this knee injury. But to almost say, like, can I live in a fantasy world for just 1 second? What if Evan Mobley's outside game developed to the point that you didn't need him in the post on offense? On defense, I need him down there. But here's what I picture. You've got Garland and Mitchell as your guards. I think, frankly, Mitchell is your point guard. You got Max Strus on a wing to shoot a 3. You got Jared Allen in the post to dominate some fools. And then you all of a sudden have Evan Mobley starting to be a little freelance on that, start to step back and hit some outside shots. Now, defensively, again, where are you going to go with those 2 guys in the middle? But, like, that's an offense I can dream about. That's an offense that could go make some things happen here. What a big turn that could be if he could do that, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the formula of these teams that have gone on to win these championships, right? You look at a guy like Nikola Jokic, who has that outside shot. A guy like Joel Embiid hasn't won a championship, but who has that outside shot. Go look at the Celtics, right? They're probably right now the biggest threat in the East, obviously, maybe the entire league. They totally transcended. Why? Because Kristaps Porzingis, he's a guy that sits outside and can shoot threes. And when you have Evan Mobley, if he can step outside, well, that just clears the paint for your slashers and whatnot, and it makes everything just so much easier. It makes ball movement easier. It makes setting high screens easier because you can step outside. It just makes life so much easier to have a big man who can shoot.
And the other thing now, I'm going to start to believe that maybe the 2 seed, and I say 2 seed, because saying just the 3 seed, we should pass the Philadelphia 76ers. I like Tyrese Maxey as much as the next guy. They're not going anywhere without Joel Embiid. So now you believe that the Cavs should ascend to being the 3rd best team in the East. And I know the Knicks are right there. But then I start to question, Ryan, like, is there a chance that we could run the Bucks down?
For sure. Doc Rivers is cursed.
There's a little change to be had there. You know what I'm looking up right now? This is from Tankathon. The remaining strength of schedule in the NBA. According to them, do you know who has the 2nd hardest schedule the rest of the way out?
The Bucks.
The Milwaukee Bucks. They have 2 against the Celtics, 2 more with the Thunder, 2 more with the Timberwolves. They got to play the Clippers twice more. They still got the Knicks, and they still have the Nuggets. The Cavs on this metric have the 20th easiest schedule. And this is just strictly the record of your opponents that you're playing. I know there's some advanced metrics that you can look at to say that it gets actually even easier for the Cavs. Cavs' hardest remaining schedule. They have 2 against the Timberwolves, 3 against the 76ers, which, again, should be pretty easy now. You got 1 with the Celtics, 1 with the Clips, and 1 more with the Nuggets. You're easy. You get 2 more with the Wizards, you get 3 more with the Hornets, and you get 2 more with the Nets.
I mean, realistically, Matt, like the way the Cavs have been playing, and you can't really say it's an anomaly anymore. It's been long enough to where it's a pattern that they're clearly capable of playing at a sustainable level as good as they are. There's really no reason, unless they have a fall from grace, that they shouldn't, honest to God, be the 2 seed.
Well,
unless the Bucks turn it around with Doc Rivers. But they've been losing games. They've been dropping quite a few games that they have no business dropping. And quite frankly, they haven't even been really close. Like, they just lost, who was it, to the Pacers. They lost to the Trailblazers, a really ugly loss. And what are they, since Doc came, 1-3 or whatever it is? I mean, Giannis seems upset. I don't know. I don't know if Dame really has lived up to that contract.
You know,
either.
we know the choking that Doc does a little bit there in the playoffs. I knocked on one. The only thing that can slow the Cavs right now is, you know what it is, and I don't want to say it because I don't want to put that back on the ethos. We've had enough of that this year, and we'll be doing just fine on the way out. The thing about the Cavs, what I would really like, here's my goal why too. Because say what you want about Doc and the slow start here. I would like to avoid the Bucks. I would like to avoid the Bucks and the Celtics. Now, you can't do that. You're going to face one of them eventually. But if you get up to the 2 seed, but then the Bucks would have to fall down to the 4 seed. You know, I would love a world where the Celtics and the Bucks had to play each other in the 2nd round. And then it's like us and the Knicks in the 2nd round. Because us at the 4 seed, well, I'll put it this way. I think it's going to be super imperative that we get up to the 3 seed because
most were not.
I'd like to stay away from Boston. I'd like to stay away from the Celtics until the Eastern Conference Finals. So that means you're going to have to face Milwaukee in the 2nd round if they stay there at 2. But again, flip that and get home court advantage now against them. Dude, I think this is wide open. I mean, I really think, and again, you're right, the Cavs are a half game up on the Knicks.
If we win tonight, we're the 2 seed.
We are. You're right. Now, the Bucks have played...
They've played like 3 more games.
They played 3 more games than us. That's a lot. So they'll get it figured out. But you're right. I mean, like, dude, you get up there. I'm kind of writing off the number 1 seed. I think Celtics are going to get there.
Which is fine.
But if you get to that 2 seed, you start talking about home court against Milwaukee? Like, yeah, man. It's all laid out. It's all lined up. And the thing is, you are now taking away, you're replacing with the 76ers with the Knicks. Like where you talk about the actual belief where who are the best teams in the East? I think, again, Milwaukee certainly should be there, Boston. But now I think it's the Cavs and the Knicks.
Dude,
I think that's it. Like the 76ers are cooked. There's nothing going
the
for
way
them.
the Cavs are playing, Matt, it's like almost you're obviously never going to write any teams off when you have names like Giannis Antetokounmpo and whatever, even if they continue this bad streak. But like you're going into the trade deadline here coming up, you almost got to think, okay, realistically, if we manage to get that 2 seed, okay, we're going to play Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals if we get there, knock on wood. You just go out and find a guy that you can that is just straight defense on Jason Tatum. Like I'm really at the point almost where the Cavs are playing so good.
Isaac
like
Okoro,
Boston,
I think he might already
Isaac
be
Okoro
here.
is good, but that's for
That's
40,
a tough
40
job, I know,
minutes,
but they put the tough jobs on him, man.
No, he's first team All NBA defense.
Absolutely, and that's another part about with where the Cavs are at. There's so many guys doing things like George Niang, and you don't need him every single night. But the fact that there are probably 4, 5, 6 different guys that I look to as keys. With Milwaukee, it's Giannis. And then, yes, I need Chris Middleton and Pat Connaughton and all this other stuff. Sure. But it's the Cavs, yes, it starts with Donovan Mitchell. But then you get to Jared Allen, then you get to Evan Mobley, then you get to Darius Garland, then Max Strus, and then you talk about George Niang, and then slide me in a little Isaac Okoro, then a little Sam Merrill when you need him. When Tristan Thompson comes back off,
I was going to say I can't wait to have him.
When
back.
he comes back off the suspension, man, get him in there and roughing up some guys.
Rough up Kristaps.
Oh, it's gonna be great,
dude.
It's gonna be awesome.
He really that's crazy to think about. That signing was really good.
Tristan, hell yeah, it was.
Like when you get into these playoff runs,
You're gonna need him. This is built, man. This is bad. And I don't want to apologize for injuries. I feel bad. I truly do. I feel bad that Joel Embiid got hurt. That sucks. I don't want to see it. Nobody wants to see that. But here we are. Save this for Cold Takes Exposed, but that's fine. Joel Embiid's not coming back this year.
Really?
No. Because they're going to do this surgery, okay? And I know that there's some hope. Like, the line from Woj was he's got to have the surgery. They got to see how bad it is and then see the recovery timetable from that. Here's my point, right? Off of yet another knee surgery for Joel Embiid, would you run him out there to go play in the play-in tournament? And you might be saying you're crazy. You got a chance. You got to look at the finals because we saw the run Miami went on and how talented the 76ers are. I'm just kind of a belief that and it would take.
But you also got to factor in, is he really going to be here long term?
Well, you need to preserve the health there for the trade. I mean, his trade, the markets, there will be a high value for Joel Embiid. He's an MVP guy. I get that. I do think he's going to stay there. I don't think they're going to let him go. But they're going to have to figure something out. I'm talking, I don't think he comes back. I don't. At this point of the season, he's going to have surgery quick. Dude, we're February.
Yeah.
You're going to get him back by April?
Trade deadline is Thursday.
Well, it is. But
the 8th, whatever the 8th.
The 8th, yeah. But the thing is, I mean, you could view that on what teams are going to pack it in. I mean, there are some teams on the fringe. I think a lot of people are looking at the Lakers. We can talk about that. LeBron shooting all that down with Rich Paul, which I kind of expected. But you're going to see some teams start to pack it in and maybe make some moves. And again, I've said this before, the more moves that happen, that's better for the Cavs. The more moves, the fact that the Cavs can sneak in on a deal or pick up a guy on a buyout, whatever, that helps. I just don't think Embiid's going to come back. Because you're going to ask Philly a lot like what the Cavs had to go through. Can you play well enough for a long enough stretch for it to actually matter when these guys comes back? Now, for the Cavs, they did it. For the Cavs, they did that. For the 76ers, I don't know. And again, to run him back to get out there in the play-in tournament, and maybe they will. I don't know. I guess maybe that's too much of a hot take. That's wishful thinking.
When do they release the who's doing the slam dunk and 3-point contest?
I mean, there's reported stuff, but I don't think anytime soon.
But when is the 3-point contest?
Saturday night. This Saturday
night?
No, when's All-Star game?
When is the All-Star game?
I don't know.
Either.
Tells you how much I care.
I figured it was right after the deadline.
The 18th.
Oh, okay. So I guess they have a
So
little
it's
time.
not. It's 2 weeks from yesterday. So it's not.
If Sam
this
Merrill's
Sunday.
not in it, I'll be sick to my
Well,
stomach.
the thing is on that, I mean, how many guys line up to actually do it? Everybody's going to watch because Sabrina and Steph are doing that. I'm actually very interested on that. You can bet on that, by the way.
Yeah. Who you got?
I kind of want to take Sabrina.
I want to
she
take
was
Sabrina
she
too.
was the dog. She was the Steph was the favorite.
She has the record.
Yeah. So it's a week from this upcoming Sunday. So I'd imagine we'll get it next week because, it's not like what it used to be. And guys, but I'd love Sam Merrill to do it. I love those guys to get involved. Rising stars, I don't.
What's your give me your 4 guys, Matt? Your dream dunk contest.
LeBron. Oh, like currently or all time?
Actively.
Okay, active. The fact that LeBron will never do it and end his career never having done it is insane to me. Is that not crazy?
Yeah, but it's kind of like, but if you're LeBron, it's like you're doing these dunks in game. You know what I mean? It's almost like everything's been done before, all the dunks. I get
That's
it, 'cause
the
it's like
problem is
LeBron
there's only
the hype
so much
man.
you can do, like jumping over the car like Blake Griffin and all that other kind
It'd be
of stuff.
so hyped up. I feel like it'd only just be room for like letdown.
Oh, sure. And it's the judging and who wins. And that's why you kind of like it when you have the guys like Mac McClung, right? Who this is it. He's a
White boy can
G-League
jump.
guy. He can get up there. And this he spends time practicing. Like, that's kind of where I think the NBA is right about opening this to some other guys for the dunk contest because you need to have buy-in. You got to have guys that actually give a damn to do this. It's not as simple. I know it sounds so easy because none of us can do it. Of a windmill through the legs 360, right? That's one thing. But when you have a guy like Mac McClung who knows this is the only thing that really is ever going to matter, and he practices and he comes up with cool things. I can't even come up with any. Who are the best dunkers in the NBA right now? Because if you Google that, they're going to say Jared Allen. And it's like, Jared Allen, I don't know what he would.
LeBron, Ja Morant would be sick. He's got to be in there.
Yeah.
Mikal Bridges.
Yeah, Bridges would be good.
Obi Toppin did it.
Well, Obi Toppin already did it.
Yeah, he already did it. Who else is there? I mean, there's some people that just throw down some yams.
But that's what I'm saying. It's not about just two steps.
Donovan throws down some yams.
I know, but it's like, you need a guy. I'm talking about like off the backboard
Zion
over
Williamson.
this. Like it. Yeah, Zion would be good. Yeah, Zion would be pretty good. But like, you know what I'm saying? The dunk contest is not just straight on, okay, here you go. There's got to be some flair to it. Larry Nance when he came out of the phone booth and he dressed like his dad, Superman.
Sick of people dunking in Timbs.
Is that a thing?
Boots? The
Yeah.
boots?
Well, I know
Cole
Timberlands,
Anthony did it.
but did he? I don't know. I tells you last time I watched the dunk contest. Can't say I was really in. Didn't watch any of the Pro Bowl. We'll talk about that coming up in the morning update. We got more Browns we got to dive into as well. Again, we started with the comments from Albert Breer about the Browns, what they've said about what he feels about Deshaun Watson. Of course, Ken Dorsey coming up at 11, so I want to continue that conversation. We got more Cavs to get into as well. You want to remind the people of our fabulous boost, Ryan? Yeah! Can I admit something to you? We do these boosts for a lot of the shows. Or for every game, I should say. For a lot of our shows we do. And there are some that I'm like, okay, this is one. Dude, I feel so... Will you bet it finally? Will you please get on your Tipico app and bet it with us?
This one looks
Does this
amazing.
not feel good?
It feels really good.
I feel really good about this. Cavs money line, just 2 threes from Darius Garland. 13 points there for Evan Mobley. That's it. Boosted to a giant over 600.
Plus 630.
Let's go. Download that Tipico app. Use the code Fontana100 when you sign up. Deposit and bet $25 on whatever you want. I don't explain that enough, folks. Deposit your own money. Deposit your $25. Bet that on whatever you want. You could take a minus 1,000 favorite just to cash, and then you get your $100. And even if you lose that bet, you're still getting the bonus bets. All you got to do is deposit and bet the $25. And you get the $100 of bonus bets. Is this not a week with what's coming up that you wouldn't want some bonus bets on Tipico? Download the app. Use it. I know a lot of people out there. I'm secure in saying this. I'm sure you have a lot of different sportsbook apps, and you kind of use them all. And maybe you've used up all your funds in there. You haven't tried Tipico yet, folks. I'm telling you, you're missing out. It is a great app. The boost, the flex parlay, the rewards program is going out there, and our boost right here that we do on the show.
Matt, they got Taylor Swift boosts up for the
Oh,
Super
do they?
Bowl.
They are going to do them? Nice. Get signed up, folks. Tipico, code Fontana100 when you sign up with our friends at Tipico. Terms and conditions apply. Please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER if you got a problem. All right, morning update comes your way. Pro Bowl games, more Browns, Cavs. Got it all for you. Stay with us. Fontana Show right here in Big Play. Breaking Browns news. Stop the presses. We'll get to it with the morning update. Can't have an introductory press conference for a guy if you haven't officially hired him. Ryan, take it away. Stories on a Monday. We start with the breaking news from the Cleveland Browns.
Alrighty, Matt. Well, to nobody's surprise, the Cleveland Browns have announced via Twitter that it is official. Ken Dorsey is the Browns' new offensive coordinator, as well as Deuce Staley, the running backs coach, Tommy Reese, the tight ends / pass game specialist, and Jacques Césaire, defensive line coach.
Dude, I love a little Caesar salad. Yeah, Ben Bloom left. A little under the radar move there. So still no O-line coach, right? That was not part of that. It's just elevating Scott Peters. That search will continue. And that was not a quarterback coach position for one Ken Dorsey. That'll be a question, another question I want answered today, because you could ask Ken, like, dude, are you going to be the quarterback coach too? You know, those hires, I mean, still, I think the offensive line hire is going to be big. And what they want to do, and I go back to a lot of what Jake Burns had to say on Friday. If you missed Jake, it was phenomenal stuff with him from the OBR. On maybe it's not such a bad idea to go outside of the room here, bring in somebody new, a fresh look at things. That's what they did with Ken Dorsey. But, like, Scott Peters seems to be the just in-place guy to take this on over. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I mean, my two biggest takeaways, still on your line coach. They just didn't elevate straight up Scott Peters, but also that they're not giving that quarterback position, or at least quarterback coach thing on top of it with Ken Dorsey. Now, the default could be what? You don't find somebody, you could just tag that on later. But it sounds like they're on the hunt for some smart people. And what did Jake say to us last week? You brought in Ken Dorsey, who has run offenses before. You brought in Tommy Reese, who has run offenses at spots before. You still have Chad O'Shea, who has been an offensive coordinator before. You are just surrounding yourself with people that have done the job before, that have taken control of an entire offense. Hopefully that bodes well for the turnaround in Deshaun Watson.
Alrighty, Matt. Well, the NFC defeats the AFC in the 2024 Pro Bowl, Matt. And I'll be honest, I did not watch a lick of it. Did you watch anything Pro Bowl weekend related?
I saw the highlights. Frankly, I just didn't want any pinky toes to get fractured again or dislocated or whatever happened to Miles last year. The thing is, the NFL has to do something. ESPN paid money for it. Verizon paid money for it to sponsor it, so they got to come up with something. You know what? I did see something. You want to know what I saw? What was I watching with them trying to unload tires?
Yeah, they did that last year.
Did they? What is that? I don't understand that. Where it was like they were all in a line, there was a wall, and then the other side of the wall was like this stick that came out and a whole bunch of tires on it, and guys stood there and they kept trying to... What the hell does that have to do with anything? I don't get
like
it.
The strongman games.
Like, okay, right. Look, just go back to the bench press. I saw the clip this past week where Larry Allen just sitting there just fucking it up, just like, oh man, I got nothing for this. Just pump it away.
What's the 225 is what they do, right?
Yeah.
225?
Just pumping, man. Stop with the least answer. You just got to, they're just bench. Give them that. The only thing they don't want to do is somebody to tear a pec, right? But you could get hurt pulling this, pulling a tire off. Garrett. All of it, right?
Myles Garrett hurt his toe.
They'll come up with some bold, like some stupid to do because they got to pay money for it. So, what do you want to do? I didn't watch.
Alrighty, Matt.
People got all pissed about my Baker tweet, though.
I did see that.
You want to get to that later?
Yeah, we can.
All right, Baker named offense. You buried the lead. Baker won an MVP.
I didn't really want to talk about it. Anyway, Cliff Kingsbury trolls the Oakland. Oh my goodness. Las Vegas Raiders. He was reportedly going to be their offensive coordinator, but we now know he's teaming up with Dan Quinn in the Commanders organization.
I mean, something about the contract. That's what we heard. And there's bigger things to that than, there's a lot in there. So I'm sure he saw. But it's like the fact, yet another guy that bailed. He goes, I don't want to do college anymore. Cliff Kingsbury should be a prime example of what a college coach should be. Built up programs, this offensive genius. Nah, man, I'll coordinate. You see, Steven Belichick's got to go to college, go to Washington, be defensive coordinator.
I did.
Nobody wants to coach college football anymore. Nobody wants to do it. Absolutely no one. By the way, did I see Bill O'Brien already rumored to go to Boston College after he just signed with Ohio State?
Yep, to be their head coach. That was rumored.
Is that real?
I think it was real. I'm not sure, though. Nothing official, obviously, but
I kind of hope not. I don't know. I like Bill O'Brien here. I think he could be a good fit. Anyway, Kingsbury wait in line to be a head coach. I mean, the thing is, again, when you hire a defensive-minded guy, you need somebody that's going to take control of the offense. I think Cliff Kingsbury can do it. I don't think he'd be bad as an offensive coordinator.
Well, now there's all this, whatever you want to call it, hoorah about the Commanders trading up for Caleb Williams.
Well,
obviously he has a deep connection
right.
with Cliff
That's
Kingsbury.
the other part of this. They're at 2. They're in position to go up. USC, I get it. Sure, that's fine. Let me put it this way, because I feel like Caleb Williams was in the news a lot last week, where some people were falsely attributing. I think it was Matt Miller.
Colin Cowherd came out and said that.
I know. He said he's the
didn't want to joke for
LeBron.
the Bears.
He's the LeBron of prospect. Somebody attributed that to, I think, Matt Miller, by the way. I got a Matt Miller mock. You want it? You want to do it? It's a 2-round mock. I got a Browns pick. All right, we'll get to that in a second. Somebody attributed, and Matt Miller came straight out, or it might have been Daniel Jeremiah. It was Daniel Jeremiah. And they go, oh, my God, Caleb Williams is like the best prospect ever. And he's like, I never said that. He goes, but he's still very highly rated. He's in that conversation of Andrew Luck as a prospect.
He just seems like such a head case.
Well, now what happened? Now he's walking it back. Oh, I'd go to Chicago if I needed to. That stuff gets so tricky because can I defend Caleb Williams for a second here? He's got people around him. Family members, agents, marketing people. That's the world that we live in. So somebody gets a hold of somebody in his group, in his entourage, if you will. And they put him up and they go, hey, man, what does he think about going to Chicago? And this person who maybe isn't even directly connected to Caleb Williams goes, oh, man, he don't want to go to Chicago. He's not going to go play for the Bears. No way. And then that gets aggregated. That's somebody in his group, or that's what Caleb Williams said. Well, maybe it's not. It's a game of telephone. I can't make heads or tails anymore of what he's been saying about where he wants to go. Again, I understand that we're in it where these draft picks maybe have more power than ever. And I can't remember. I think Jake even said this on Friday. Where the NIL money is going to hurt is in the 4th, 5th, and 6th, and 7th rounds, where you had guys that would probably leave for the NFL and be a solid 5th round pick, but they're going back to college because they can make $100,000 playing college football and maybe improve their draft stock a little bit. That's where things are going to start thinning out. At the top, that's not going to change. If you're a first-round pick, I said that about Denzel Burke, and by God, he's going back. And Travion Henderson. I think if you're a first-round pick, the NFL is still going to be your calling. And for a guy like Caleb Williams, the evaluations are still clear. He's really good at playing quarterback. He's going to be the first overall pick. If I was Chicago, I would stick with Justin Fields and frankly try to trade him to New England. You don't want to give him to an NFC opponent. Those games get played here, right?
So you say you get rid of Justin Fields?
No.
Oh, yeah,
I'm talking about trading Caleb Williams.
Oh, yeah.
No. Because you're going to trade that pick for Caleb Williams. Would you go down to 8 with New England just to keep him out of the NFC on the off chance that he's really good? That gets a little, muddy too because, bro, if he goes on to have great success, don't nobody care if you trade him to an AFC or an NFC team. They're going to be sitting there bitching at you because you passed up on a good quarterback.
But if you're trading if you're the Bears and you're trading your pick down, like to the command, I mean, you got to go with somebody like the Commanders who's 2-3. You got to get Marvin Harrison.
I know.
You have to get Marvin Harrison.
Well, the thing is, you bounce down to maybe bounce back up. I don't know. I'd trade the pick. I think Caleb Williams is still going to be the first overall pick. Now there's all this scuttlebutt about Drake May. There's people coming out saying that Drake May is going to be the faller.
Oh, the faller. Yeah.
Fall. No, I'm talking about fall down. And the Senior Bowl and the Shrine Bowl were going on, so you're going to start seeing
Take that with a grain of salt. I hear this every single year about somebody.
Somebody's going to fall, right? Somebody's going to fall. They didn't like this, or they didn't like his practice, or this kind of measurements. The things coming out of the Senior Bowl. Penix, stock rising. People really like them some Michael Penix now. And Drake May supposedly maybe isn't all of it. I don't know. And as these teams fit through and what they're going to do and who they're going to draft, again, well, let me out. Here's my interest for the Browns. We're not in this, right? Because you don't have a first-round pick, but I don't need a quarterback.
Not yet.
Let it get a little crazy, man. Let stuff start to get f***ed up a little bit. Do it. That helps the Browns. Sit back and let these teams cannibalize themselves. Let them get freaked out about this guy and trading for this and doing all that. We can just sit on back. Let it happen. I'm all for it. I love the draft. We'll get to this mock here in a minute. I do want to see what they got.
All right, well, we'll end the morning update with the biggest news of all, of course, Matt. It was announced yesterday at the Grammys by her own self, Taylor Swift.
Congratulations.
Is coming out with a new album. I believe it releases April something. It's the Tortured Poets Department.
Okay.
Twitter went nuts, Matt. I believe it was something like 5 million views in like 5 minutes when she tweeted it.
I believe it. We also got to shout out Tracy Chapman, Cleveland's own last night, just killing it at the. I didn't watch, but I knew Twitter was a buzz for her. So congratulations. I mean, that was. You love seeing Cleveland up on the big stage like that. I think that's pretty awesome. That all being said, that'll be what, probably the biggest selling album of all time. Yeah. And just follow the dots, man.
I'm telling you.
Big NFL season. All of a sudden, she's got an album coming out. You see what the Japanese embassy tweeted?
No.
So the night before the Super Bowl, this Saturday night, do you know where Taylor Swift's going to be?
Tokyo.
Tokyo, Japan. The Japanese embassy sent a message out that promised her fans they would help her get out of the country in time to make it to the Super Bowl. Not foreign policy. Now, we're going to work together here on climate change. We got to get Taylor Swift out of here so she can make it to the Super Bowl. That's where we're at. And I know, people freak out about Taylor Swift, and you see the stats.
Dude, the problem is nobody.
32 seconds. She averages 32 seconds of a broadcast.
So okay, yes,
it's not that big of a deal.
Here's the thing.
I'm not making real quick. I'm not ripping on it. I just think that is hilarious. I think it is so funny that the Japanese embassy had to come out and be like, yeah, don't worry, we'll get Taylor Swift here.
People got to realize, listen, I'm fine with Taylor Swift. I don't care how much time she's on the screen.
I don't either.
She could be on the screen for the whole half. I don't care. The thing is, the reason why some people are just mad because they're bitter and weird.
Some people are mad because they're mad.
The reason people like me are mad, I'm not mad at Taylor for any reason, but it's annoying because if she dated a named player X that wasn't on the Chiefs, it's the fact that she dates this player who's on the dynasty for the last 5 years that we have to constantly see win on the biggest stage in football. It's just like so convenient now that she's dating a Kansas City Chief.
But
that's the only part about that whole thing that annoys me. Is because then I have to see the Chiefs get boosted even more than they already have been this last 5 years.
Well, and of course, what has happened now? The Chiefs have gone on this run. Everybody. I'll give you another one. Simone Biles' husband. He's like a secondary player on the Packers. And I mean that as he's both a defensive back, but he's not like a bona fide starter. And they still show Simone, and she's very famous. And of course, a lot of that was what? NBC driven. Why? They have the Olympics coverage in a couple of months, and she'll be there. But there's always a means to the end. There's always what are they trying to do? What are they trying to boost on all this?
Yeah. I'm walking a line here, Matt.
Go ahead.
I don't want to dip my toe too deep, but it's like
you're getting sick of it.
You're
not getting sick of Taylor Swift. You're getting sick of the You're getting sick of the people that are getting sick.
You have an unhealthy obsession to the point where you're overstimulating yourself in every aspect of their life to the point where what they consume, what they eat, and you're letting she doesn't even know who you are. And before people come and say oh, well, that's your job. You talk about players who don't know who you are for a living. Yeah, okay. I talk about the players who are part of my organization, my city that represents me. Okay? Taylor Swift doesn't represent any of you. She doesn't know who you are. I have obsessions too, but not to the point where I'm like, oh my God, she ate a chicken tender with honey mustard.
Well,
it's weird, it's unhealthy, and it's dangerous.
It is very dangerous, and I think the same thing. It's the social media era where the change on social media that we have all had to deal with in one way or another, either as a consumer of social media or people that try to make it, is our entire lives should be on blast. You feel like, bro, I get inundated. You just hop on, let's call it for what it is, Instagram, more than anything, right? And I scroll through Instagram. And now as a parent, do you know what I see a lot of? These parent accounts. And they're meant to be funny, okay? Oh, my daughter pooped her pants, or my son spilled this paint over here. And then they put a funny caption on it, and then they put a funny song on it. The thing that shocks me is bro, there's got to be thousands of these accounts. Thousands of them. And there are still obviously people consuming this.
It's a sick world.
And making money.
It's a sick world.
Dude, it is insane. It is nuts. All that aside, but you feel like every moment of your life. You ever see those pictures where it's like what you see on Instagram versus reality? And it's like this picture of this pool. And it's crystal clear water and these palm trees and this water slide. And oh my God. And somebody posts this and they go, I'm sitting in Bali. I'm in Turks and Caicos or whatever that place
Turks and Caicos?
Whatever that is. Makes you sound like turkey, which I could go for a good turkey sandwich right now. You just sit there. And then they pan to the left and there's a sewage river sitting right there. It's the illusion that you all have. The thing on Taylor Swift is all of this stuff gets aggregated. There are accounts dedicated to just following Taylor Swift around. Even though it's somebody that's not even following her around, it's what you see.
It's weird.
I know. I'm not saying it's not. And then you get the both sides of it. You get the people that are the Uber Taylor followers that are just salivating on everything. And then you get the anti-crowd, which are salivating over the same thing, but they're just trying to talk crap and they're hating on it. But it's like, dude, you're all obsessed in the same way.
And the thing I always have to, I feel like I have to keep mentioning is like this has nothing to do with Taylor Swift herself.
Not her
because people
fault.
freak out, right? But there shouldn't be people that have that much power to the point where they could literally sway millions and millions of people to either think a certain way or act a certain way. Like just imagine a world, and Taylor Swift would never do this because she's not this type of person. But imagine a person with that type of power.
Oh, let's talk about it for a second.
Like, go vote for X. Go vote for person X. You don't know anything about them. You're just going to vote for them because they're endorsed by by a person Y.
That's
it's
dangerous.
Scary and it's creepy. And the most recent thing I could think of is like a guy like Elon Musk tweeting, "Go buy Dogecoin," and people are putting millions and millions of dollars inflating that market cap of a coin that is a meme.
And I'm not saying that Elon's not a smart guy, and I'm not saying that Taylor Swift isn't a good musician or thing. But then when people see that, it's first broadcast, and then people take it as gospel.
Dude,
and again, to your credit, and we give Taylor Swift credit for this, she doesn't do that.
Right.
She didn't do that. And I know people get on Rogan for that. Everybody freaks out of Joe Rogan because he says this, and people take it as gospel. I fully admit, I listen to Joe Rogan's podcast, but I listen to it for entertainment. There's nothing that I sit in there and I go, oh my God, Joe Rogan said this. It better be true. I must go do this. And that's where the line gets blurred. That's the problem with social media.
Dude, I hate it.
You hate the Joe Rogan podcast?
No.
Oh, you hate social media?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, what do you and I use it for? Best wrestler of all time.
Lisa Ann.
Stop that.
Yeah, what do I use it for? Lisa Ann.
I'm sure you do, Ryan. I'm sure you do. Best wrestler of all time. We'll fill that out a little bit later in the show. You want to get to a mock draft?
Yes, please.
All right, there's a 2-round mock draft. That's why I'm bringing it up, folks, because Matt Miller, I followed Matt for a long time. He's not over at ESPN. Love him. He's the best. And he does a 2-round mock. So we'll get to the Browns in a second. Would you like to start at number 1, Chicago Bears via the Carolina Panthers?
Caleb
Williams. Everyone I spoke to at the Senior Bowl speculated that the Bears will draft Williams first overall and then trade Justin Fields. Guess offers, what? Wait a minute. So Matt writes, everyone I spoke to speculated they're going to take Caleb Williams and trade Justin Fields for a package potentially centered around a second-round pick. You're not going to get another one for Justin Fields?
Dude, man, quarterback markets are strange.
Keep the Steelers away from him. Keep him away from the Steelers, what I should say. Oh, that'd be scary. All right, so he goes number 1 there. Number 2, Washington, Drake May.
Okay.
Number 3, New England, Jaden Daniels. I like that pick for them. Number 4, Arizona.
Gotta be Marvin
Harrison Jr. The Cardinals can sit tight and get arguably the best overall player in this draft. A 6'4 receiver with excellent all-around polish. Harrison will immediately be the number 1 receiver for Kyler Murray, who's been missing that since DeAndre Hopkins left town. And in fact, Harrison, he's taller than Hopkins, smooth route running, body control. He is everything that you would want. Number 5, Malik Neighbors, receiver to the Chargers. Adunze goes 6 to the Giants. So you have 3 picks in Matt Miller's mock, the top 3. 3 quarterbacks, 3 wide receivers. Joe Alt, the first offensive lineman, goes 7.
To who?
Tennessee.
Okay.
Arnold, the corner out of Alabama, goes 8 to the Falcons. Fashanu, the offensive tackle from Penn State, goes 9. And then Fuaga, the offensive tackle out of Oregon State, goes 10 to the Jets. Trying to see if I can scroll through here. Bo Nix, 12 to the Broncos.
That's gross.
J.J. McCarthy, 13 to the Raiders. Take it, please, God, do it. Do it there. Bowers goes 14 to the Saints. Anybody else you're really interested there in the first round?
No, after Bauer.
Penix?
Kinda... Well, yeah. Are there any
Penix?
quarterbacks left in the first round?
Penix, not a first-round pick. Second round, I'm still scrolling. I don't see Michael. Oh, here he is. 42 to the Minnesota Vikings.
That's a good pick by
That's a
Minnesota.
good pick by them. I do. I scroll on down. The
We
reason
said that like it was the real pick.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Go,
I like
good
it.
pick. Good pick.
There's nothing in this world that makes me laugh harder than draft grades. Oh, that's an A. That's a great
Yeah,
pick.
like, you don't know
You don't
shit.
know. Nobody knows how this guy's going to go. All right. Do you even know what pick the Browns have in the second round?
Is it 64?
54.
Oh.
54. And Matt Miller's mock, Tavondre Sweat, defensive tackle, Texas.
Texas, yeah.
6'4", 362, and the Outland Trophy Award winner from this past season.
Yeah, I mean.
He writes, let's fix the Browns defense. Excuse me, Browns run defense.
Oh, well, then in that case, probably see a Shelby Harris.
No, I could see a well, I guess you're right. Maybe. I don't know. Matt Miller's right up. Sweat is an immovable force in the middle of a defensive line, but he also has enough quickness to score 22 pressures and 2 sacks this past season while consistently collapsing the pocket and chasing down ball carriers. The Browns enter an offseason with 3 defensive tackles hitting free agency. This makes us both a need and a great value pick for the Browns with Tavondre Sweat, defensive tackle out of Texas. Now, what I also like to do for these mocks, I'm going to give you some guys around this pick just so we maybe have an idea. A guy that I would really like very much, he has going 48 to Jacksonville. That's Roman Wilson, wide receiver out of Michigan.
Yeah.
He's got him going to Jacksonville because he thinks Calvin Ridley leaves in free agency.
Yeah, Nick Padone is obsessed with it.
I take Rome. I would too.
He really wants
I
Roman
would
Wilson.
too. You got Zach Frazier, a center out of West Virginia. Braylon Trice, a defensive end out of Washington, around this pick as well. And then Junior Colson, the linebacker out of Michigan, he goes a pick ahead of the Browns. Picks after a guard, another guard, a safety, Jonathan Brooks, the running back out of Texas.
Who's the first running back off the board? Wow, not a good running back class.
No, everything I'm seeing, this is a really stacked receiver draft.
Yeah.
This is a really good offensive tackle draft, too. There's a lot of good linemen in this draft from the offensive side of things. All right, RB, running back. I'm going to have to scroll through a lot of this here, man.
Yeah, not a good running back class at all. Which makes it even more interesting that Travion Henderson went back.
Maybe that's why.
But what do you mean? That would make you want to go. You'd be
Oh, I
one of
guess you could be the number one guy.
the- Yeah.
No way. Is that true? Jonathan Brooks is the first running back at 58.
Wow.
I mean, I'm like, Brooks is like, who would be better than him?
And it goes to show you.
Travion would have been.
And goes to
Where's Corum?
goes to show you. Oh yeah, where is Corum?
He's not in his 2-round mock.
But then again, that just goes to show it as on top of the whole
nobody
contract
cares. Yeah,
situation.
nobody cares about
about running backs.
Nobody cares about running backs. Nobody cares. And I know that there's going to be a lot of things that we're going to look at to see with what they do with Nick Chubb. And I know, Andrew Berry said he's going to be coming back. Can I give you one more too? At 60 in Matt Miller's mock after us, Jalen Polk, wide receiver, Washington. He's got him going to Buffalo. He says Gabe Davis might leave. I said wide receiver over everything. D tackle could be of use maybe, but I'd be fine with a D tackle. 54th overall pick. Give me a wide receiver or D tackle. Or DN. Those are the 3 positions I want. One of those 3 there at 54 I would take.
It's gonna be
any day of the
crazy
week.
when we move that pick up
Any day of the
and send Greg Newsome. That's my prediction.
Do you think we could get in the first round if you traded 54 and Greg Newsome and you got somewhere in that first round?
Yeah.
You want to look at the 20 picks? Just as an exercise. Just as an exercise to see who you could get up there.
I'd go
get.
28 through 32.
Okay, 28 through 32 in Matt Miller's mock. Jackson Powers Johnson, center out of Oregon. Leitu, that defensive end from UCLA, from 29. I saw him in some mocks early. He was in the top 13. Darius Robinson, defensive end with Baltimore at 30. Ain't trading with them. Jordan Morgan, an offensive tackle at 31. And then Xavier Worthy, the wide receiver out of Texas, goes 32.
Xavier Worthy's been a name that's shining up.
All right, a little beyond that. That Cooper DeJean corner.
Can we get Ladd McConkey, please?
He's got the 33rd overall pick going to Ladd McConkey here. He had a good week down there at Mobile, from what I heard.
Did you see his player comp?
No.
Cooper Kupp?
No.
People are just saying that because he's white.
He's white. That's fine. I don't want Ladd McConkey. I don't think he's going to be very good. I don't know.
I'll take him.
There's something about let me put it this way. There's something about SEC wide receivers that aren't Alabama guys. Am I wrong on that? Am I missing when's the last, AJ Green? Who's the last great Georgia wide receiver that came out? Was it AJ Green?
Probably AJ Green.
That's what I'm saying. Alabama.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, Justin Jefferson, LSU. Okay, I should shut the hell up. LSU's got a lot of good wide receivers.
LSU.
All right, let me do this. SEC wide receivers, not from LSU and not from Alabama.
I'm trying to think.
I don't know. I maybe I'm crabbing. I don't know about Ladd McConkey. Keon Coleman out of Florida State. I'd take him. He's at 24.
Yeah.
A lot of interesting stuff there. All right, let's catch our break. We come back. We'll dive into Time Hop. I got to get to my Baker Mayfield tweet. I sent a tweet out. I want to fully explain it to everybody about what I was saying there. So we'll get to that coming up, and we're going to fill the bracket out live on the show. So you got 10 minutes. 10 minutes to send us the best professional wrestler of all time. We got all the tweets in there. I'm blocking people that say Lisa Ann. It's not funny. She's not making the bracket. We'll fill that out coming up. Time Up coming your way next. Stay with us. Fontana Show right here in Big Play. All right, let's kick off Super Bowl week with a little bit of Time Up. I got a couple Super Bowls this day in history. Pretty simple. We always head back, tell you what happened this day, including just 1 year ago today. This was basketball. The Nets announced they traded Kyrie Irving to the Dallas Mavericks. Said it again. I'll say it again. We got out of the Kyrie business at the right time. Is Kyrie still an elite player?
No.
I don't think so.
Well.
I don't think so. I think you're right.
No.
I don't think so.
Well, yeah, no. I mean,
I don't think so.
he had a good stretch, but no. Like elite, no. Because elite is what? Top 15?
If I said elite, I would say that you have to be one of the 2 or 3 best players at your position. Would you say he's one of the 2 or 3 best point? Now here's the thing.
No.
He could be.
Yeah, but
and he probably should be.
Yeah, right now, no.
But he's not.
No.
He's not. And what I saw with Kyrie Irving when he was playing with the Cleveland Cavaliers, I believe that he was like, dude, I've seen him do some things that I can't. Like,
best handles
one of the
maybe
best
ever.
ball handlers I've ever seen in my life. Ever. He could score sometimes at will. Whatever off the court and how he wants to live his personal life, that all sure. But it's like, it's weird. Like, you got to remind yourself that he plays for the Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks are, I know Cuban's out now, but he kept like all the control, but he sold the team and like Luka and shouldn't Dallas be better than they? Am I missing something on the Dallas Mavericks there?
I don't. They're just they're never really a contender.
Right, that's my point. It's all built up. It should be, but it's not. 3 years ago today, Trevor Bauer announced that he was going to be signing with the LA Dodgers. I only bring it up for this standpoint. Remember when he said that he told his buddies that they could shoot him in the boys with a paintball gun if he signed a multi-year deal, and then he did? Trevor Bauer's an asshat. He is. He's a jackass. And, of course, what he did off the field, I'm not talking about that. It sounds like he got exonerated from that. And, again, those are tricky situations. And I just want the truth there. If he did those things, he should be in jail. If he didn't do those things and that girl said he did, then she needs to be in jail. That's how that should go. I'm just talking about Trevor Bauer, the person. He is weird. And whatever. You think he signs with somebody for this season coming up? He's apparently free to go.
I think he will.
He's a talented guy, but, playing in the Japanese league, I think he missed a full year of baseball. We'll see. This day, 2020, Andrew Berry has introductory press conference as the Browns general manager. 4 years on the job. I think he's done a great thumbs up, man. I think he's been one of the big keys for this turnaround. And like any general manager, I just need him to bat about 700, which I know in baseball that sounds insane. I'm talking about 7 out of 10 moves work. I think that's a mark of a really good general manager, is 7 out of 10. So I can sit there and say, okay, Jeremiah Wusu-Koramoah, and, add up all the good ones, and then there's certainly some ones that he missed on. I think the Jed Wills, what's the biggest miss in Andrew Berry's 4 years here? 4 years to the day that he's been on the job. What's been his biggest miss?
Draft or free
Anything,
agent?
just anything. The biggest mistake that he's made. Can't say getting rid of Odell. He did that. That was the right move.
It's too early to say, Jed. If he plays good this year, we'll see.
I'm opening the door for walking through on the Deshaun Watson deal, but I don't know if I necessarily believe that he was the one that made the move.
And that's kind of low-hanging fruit.
Right.
Maybe just, like Schwartz, Anthony Schwartz.
Yeah, that's fine. Not really addressing the receiver. Elijah Moore seems to be on kind of out there right there. What's been the best move that he has made? MJ Emerson.
Him or Jock?
I think, yeah.
Him or Jock?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, probably Jock.
I do. Maybe. Maybe second and third round guys. I like that very much. We continue on with timeout. The 5th of February, we got this day 2017. You know the score. 28-3. Patriots come back on the Falcons 34-28 in overtime. Again, historic for that reason. I remember watching that game. We always go to my parents' house to watch. And I remember because we always leave at halftime, I got home and I was like, oh, wait a minute, what are they doing here? Tom Brady goes lights out, which also happened this day in history a couple days ago when the lights went on the Super Bowl. And, of course, the Patriots come back. Not so good on this day history. 2012, Giants beat the Patriots 21-17 this day 2012. The fact that Eli Manning got 2 is really kind of crazy.
Matt, I saw a comparison, and it made a lot of sense. Eli Manning to Tom Brady is going to be, they say, is going to be Brock Purdy to Patrick Mahomes. Like a guy who's clearly less talented, they say, but like a guy who's been on good teams and is the one that's able to dethrone the Tom Brady.
But the thing is, I think that's a very interesting that's a very interesting statement to make. I mean, the thing about Eli Manning was he just wasn't athletic. You know what I mean? Like, that's the difference. And I think you could say maybe the same thing for Peyton Manning. It's just they weren't like what you would maybe look for in a quarterback in a couple different matches. And I know Eli was the first overall pick. That's the flip is I would say, okay, Eli was still number 1. Brock Purdy was Mr. Irrelevant. But yeah, where you look at Tom Brady, you're like, well, of course you should be doing all this. When I look at a guy like Eli Manning, that's a Hall of Famer or soon-to-be Hall of Famer, first overall pick, and I go, I'm surprised he got 2. It kind of makes you take for granted the Super Bowl. To realize, dude, how really freaking hard it is to go win one. And I'm not even talking about the era when Brady had a lock on it and maybe the era now where Patrick Mahomes has the lock on it. I'm not even talking about that. It's just that of all the great quarterbacks that have gone through, and to say they only won 2, Peyton only won 2, which is crazy.
Ben
only won 2. Aaron Rodgers probably only ever going to win 1.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
I mean, go look at Marino Elway. Like Marino.
Yeah, Marino. Well, yeah, right. You know, and it's just it's a little reminder. You could have everything.
Drew Brees.
Well,
one.
You could have all of this line up perfectly, and then you get some out of nowhere, a guy like Brock Purdy. Now, granted, that's more of the team of San Francisco, but it really is kind of interesting to see how that played out. Russell Wilson just won, but then you have your anomalies. Okay, let's call for what it is. Joe Flacco has 1. Russell Wilson maybe shouldn't. Well, at that point was everything.
Nick Foles.
All that. Philly special was yesterday in Time Hop, to be honest with you. This day, 1943, Jake LaMotta, Raging Bull. He beat Sugar Ray Robinson by unanimous decision. That was their second of 6 meetings and LaMotta's only win against Sugar Ray. Robinson, that was his first loss in 40 pro fights. This day, 1921, the State Theater opened right here in downtown Cleveland. What's the last play or musical you went to go see? At Playoff Square.
Never been to Playoff Square.
You've never been to a show at Playoff Square, really?
No.
Wow.
The last play I saw or musical had have been a field trip in like middle school.
Really?
Yeah. I enjoy like theater.
Sure.
Like I've never done it, and I could never see myself doing it. But like I enjoy the like singing. I enjoy it.
I think we are so blessed, obviously, that it's here and we get to go out and do it. The last one I think was when my wife and I went to the Mean Girls musical. I think that was it. We saw Elf. We're doing it next month. We got tickets for our son. I hope he's not watching right now. He shouldn't be. He's at school. Get your ass in school. We're going to see Paw Patrol. Paw Patrol
cool.
live. You got some tickets for
That's
our boy
badass.
to take him. He's gonna go. He's gonna go through the roof.
I want to see Back to the Future.
They have a play?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, and that and Beetlejuice. I want to see.
Well, Beetlejuice, the movie's coming out. They got a Michael Jackson thing because we get the mailer, every year from Playoff Square. I did think I saw Back to the Future. I told my wife you should get those. She loves that movie.
Yeah,
she loves it. So we'll have to go see it. But the State Theater opened this day, 1921. Very happy birthday. Speaking of happy birthdays, goes out to soccer legend Ronaldo, Hammer and Hank Aaron celebrating a birthday. Roger Staubach, Daryl Waltrip, Robbie Alomar, Duff McKagan, bassist for what band?
No idea.
Guns N' Roses. And Velvet Revolver, but Guns N' Roses probably. Laura Linney, and I say the best for last, my brother Mark. Love you, bro. Very happy birthday to him today. He gets his video from his nephew a little bit later today. Final thing, movies, TVs, just one movie for you.
All right.
We go all the way back to this day, 1953. An animated film. I'll lay it up for you. It has to do with crocodiles, an alarm clock,
Peter Pan.
and a guy with a hook. That would be one Peter Pan. What would you say has been the best incarnation of Peter Pan? Probably Hook, right? With Robin Williams. You seen that one?
I haven't really seen anything Peter Pan related.
Really? Did you
No.
watch the Hugh Jackman one?
No.
That was a trippy one.
I
That
haven't
was like
watched that.
Peter, that Captain Hook was young,
Okay.
and then Peter was like really.
I've never
young.
really watched.
Not
Peter
really
Pan
my
before,
thing.
Yeah.
Not really my. I mean, again, the 53 one I used to watch at my grandma's house all the time when we were growing up. But yes, Peter Pan this day, 1953. All right, we're coming up to Ken Dorsey. We've kind of laid it out. I'm interested to see. I don't think he's going to say anything on play calling. The biggest thing for me, Ryan, is what does he say about Deshaun Watson? What are his views on what we can fix with Deshaun Watson? What can we do there? So no show for us. Again, a reminder tomorrow. We'll be off tomorrow, so we'll react to that on a Wednesday. Can I get to Baker Mayfield for just a second here?
Let's do it.
So I sent this tweet out. And it was that there was a comment at the Pro Bowl games where Baker Mayfield was interviewed. And, of course, they asked him, like, what do you think about your future? What do you think you're going to do? And he said, and I should have you pull this up. Don't worry about it. And he gave a comment where he said, we got to see what happens with this OC in Tampa, making my decision. And I sent a tweet and I said this. You had one good year there. Do you really think you should be calling that shot?
That's not him making demands, Matt.
That's him being the smart Matt. That's him making he needs all the information before he makes a decision on where he's going to go play. You're a jackass, Matt. You're just hating on him. Well, yeah. Calm down, okay? He could have given a nice, easy answer of, I appreciate my time in Tampa, and hopefully we can make it work again. Not I got to see who they hire at OC. People are saying, oh, that's not what he meant. That's not what he was coming off like. My ass. Okay, I've spent enough time around. And here's the thing. Here's what people don't understand. I was a Baker defender. I said on my prior show that the Browns could have won a Super Bowl with Baker Mayfield at quarterback. That clip still lives on social media. I was a Baker fan, and to this point, I still kind of am. Go do whatever you want. I wish him all the success in the world. I got nothing for or against him. But when you have one good year and it comes off like you're telling the organization, well, you better hire the right guy at OC here. And then who did they hire this weekend? Some guy I never heard of. Hired some guy I never even heard of. All right, man. Sure. People just get so up in arms about it.
Liam Cohen.
Yo, great. Good job, Liam. Great. Liam Neeson? No, Liam Cohen. Okay. Good luck. Like, dude, come on. What are we doing? Am I wrong? Am I off base on that?
No,
Tell me.
I thought it was fine.
I will welcome that. If I was wrong on that, and I get, I'm not saying that Baker shouldn't hit free agency. He's going to. It's the smart thing to do. You don't. Okay. You want to know what? I'll sum it up this way. Send this clip to Baker if you can. Baker, you did enough. You don't need to hold this OC hire over them for a job. You did plenty enough this year to prove the amount of money you're going to get paid and that they need you at quarterback. You don't need to play the game along. I got to see who they hire at OC. That starts getting in. I want to get involved. You don't want that. You don't want that. You did enough. You don't need to sit there and act like who they hire is going to depend on if you come back or not. And let's be 100% real about it. There's not 10 teams lining up for you. Now, people are going, oh, there'd be 4. Sure. I'm sure there's 4 teams. I'd name. Tampa would be one. Tennessee would be one. Pittsburgh would be one. Any of the other teams that might draft one. New England and Washington and all these others. They would love to have Baker Mayfield services. I know they would. But it's all about different money. Like, you don't need to do that. And don't act like you don't need Tampa. They need you more than you need them. I'm not saying that's not true, but Baker, you're going back there. You need it there, but just I didn't like that. I thought that came off wrong. But then people I tweeted and people, you're just hating on Baker Mayfield. You hate Baker. I actually don't. I really don't. I like Baker Mayfield, but let's see. All right, Ryan, let's get to it. Our bracket of the week.
All right, we filling it out?
Yes, let's do it. So we're going to pull it right here up on the screen. This is live time. We are filling out our ECT. Our big play bracket of the week. It's on my mind, man. My mind wanders.
Freudian slip.
That show, RIP, that show will never come back. So I can say I walked it off. It's with me forever. All right, our big play bracket of the week. Best wrestler of all time. Number 1 seeds, Ryan. You got him already up. Go ahead.
Oh, no. Well, those are the soup ones from just the template.
Oh, I thought. Sorry. All right, number 1 seeds, Ric Flair. Sorry, Ryan's going to have to do this feverishly. Number 1, Ric Flair. Number 2, number 1 seed, Andre the Giant. He was a giant, and his name was Andre. R.I.P. Norm Macdonald. Who was Andre the Giant? Number 3, I want to put The Rock. I think he deserves it. The Rock. And then do you want to put Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Well, you know who I want to put.
You're not putting him in.
Well, it's a her.
They're not making it.
You said Steve Austin?
Yeah. All right. Oh, no. Hulk Hogan. Stone Cold or Hulk Hogan. He's going to make it, but just as number 1 seeds.
I don't know.
Put Hulk Hogan as number 1. All right. Put Hulk Hogan as number 1. Slide down Steve Austin. Do you want me to do rapid fire here? Let me go through the Twitter inbox first. So we got Austin. You got to put Randy Macho Man Savage somewhere.
Okay, wait. Let's go through our 2 seeds.
Okay. Macho Man.
I'll just put Macho Man.
Sting should be a 2 seed.
Isn't that a singer?
Yes. but also a wrestler. Undertaker has got to be a 2 seed on that. John Cena will be a number 2 seed for us.
How is
as
Mr.
well.
Cena not a first seed?
The number 1 seeds are going to be hard. They're going to be really tough. I don't know what to tell you. All right, more coming in. Triple H has got to make it. Put him where you want. Roddy Piper's got to make it. Do you want to put Rey Mysterio in there?
Triple H.
Yep. Roddy Piper.
How do you spell that?
Just Roddy, R-O-D-D-Y, and then P-I-P-E-R.
Roddy White.
Roddy Piper.
I'm just kidding. You remember Roddy White?
Yeah, the receiver. I loved Roddy White. He was always on my fantasy team. Atlanta Falcons. Shout out to him.
Wait, okay, so Rey Mysterio.
You want to put Rey Mysterio in there? Edge. I'm just going to throw them out. You pick who you want. Shawn Michaels. CM Punk. You probably should put CM Punk in there. I think he should probably be in there. Does Bryan Daniel deserve, or what? What's that guy go by? Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan.
Wait, who's the one you said before CM Punk?
Triple H?
No. Somebody else.
Oh, Shawn Michaels?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to put Roman Reigns Edge? I don't know.
How does he spell Sean?
S-H-A-W-N. Ted DiBiase?
Wait, so I need 3 more.
All right, 3 more. See, here's the problem, and I see it already. People are going to send these tweets, and they're going to bitch because of who we didn't put in or not. And I'm just going to say, you didn't tweet back at us and tell us who you wanted in. I got almost all the tweets in. It was a lot of Flair. It was a lot of The Rock.
3 more I'm missing.
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Put him in there. I'll shout out Sean.
What is it?
Ricky the Dragon.
Ricky the Dragon?
Just put that. You can put that. Ricky the Dragon is fine. Shout out to
2
Dollar
more.
Dog Nick. I'm not putting Hurricane Helms in this. He's just not making that. Come on now. Stop with the Lisa Ann tweets. They're not going in. I got Macho Man. I got Roddy Piper. Ric Flair's in. Triple H is in. Roddy. We got a lot of Macho Man. Got a lot of Macho Man on this. How many more do you need?
2.
I don't know. You want to put Mick Foley in?
Nick Foley?
Mick Foley. You don't know who Mick Foley is?
No, how do you spell that?
God. Just Mick. M-I-C-K-F-O-L-E-Y. Did you put... Oh, my God.
1 more.
Dusty Rhodes. Put Dusty Rhodes in there.
Dusty Rhodes.
Dusty Rhodes. The American Dream, Dusty
Does he spell
Rhodes.
it like R-O-D, or is it R-H-O?
Yeah, R-H-O-D-E-S. Yes. Dusty Rhodes.
All right, our bracket.
All right, there it is. You gonna send that out? Can we do the... Well, I'll do this. We're off tomorrow, reminder. So, Ryan, we'll send the bracket out now. Send all the replies to him because people are just going to bitch. We'll send that out. We'll put the poll still out tomorrow, okay? You can do that on the day off. That'd be just fine. So, send that out at Matt Fontana Show. Let's get it done. And speaking of at the show, our typical boost for last time. Yeah! There it is, folks. 3 legs tonight for the Cavs. Couple of threes from Darius Garland. A little point action there from Evan Mobley. And just the Cavs to get a nice win tonight. I told you, we were talking about this earlier. This is one that I love this. I love this a lot. So here's what you do. You go to Tipico. Download the app. Here, I'm signing back in right now on Tipico. Here we go. We're in. Right at the top, you go to Ohio Trending Bets. Scroll on over. We got a Luka one for tonight, the LeBron one, Snowball. We got a Cavs big play boost. Ryan?
You feeling good about it?
I'm feeling so good about it. We're putting a big 20 spot on it tonight.
What does that win you?
146. Yes. Dude, tonight I feel so good about that. Cavs over 1.5 threes for Darius Garland. Over 12.5 points for Evan Mobley. Cavs money line plus 630 right now live on Tipico. Use that code Fontana100 when you get signed up. I feel so good. I'm doubling my normal wager here. Going 20 on it. I love it. The boost is up. Get signed up with their friends at Tipico. Using that code Fontana100. Deposit bet $25. Get $100 in bonus bets. Terms and conditions apply. Please check those out on the website. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Getting geared up for a big week of betting. All right, reminder, no show tomorrow. We have some things we got to take care of tomorrow. So we'll be back for a Wednesday edition of the show. Guests aplenty coming up this week, getting ready for the big game. So we appreciate everybody joining us as always. Go vote on the bracket at Matt Fontana Show. Drop us a like and a follow on Twitch if you can. Instagram at Matt Fontana Show. And Twitter at Matt Fontana Show. Are we to 500 yet?
We
were dangerously close.
Very close.
We need 2 more followers for 500 on Twitter. Drop us a follow at Matt Fontana Show. There on X and Twitter. Appreciate everybody joining us as always. Vote on the bracket. We'll talk to you on a Wednesday edition. For Ryan Tyler, I am Matt Fontana. As always, take it easy.